All right, welcome back to Commodity Rep. Well, not it's Commodity Rep Kickoff. I always do that, isn't it? I've got too many shows in my brain. Cow Guy Close, Commodity Rep Kickoff. This one's Market Day Report, and it's a good one, right? And we're going to show you what the prices are because you don't want me to continue to make myself look like an idiot. All right, let's take a look at some of these corn prices. Obviously, everybody's seen the weekend and the weather, and corn's seen it as well. The July up front, right? It's going off pretty soon here, so it's not really a good indicator, but it's up 12 1/4 cents, 6.43 even. But as you see, the rest of the corn market is off. The Dees, that's the new crop, 1.5 cents lower to 5.86.5. We have been 10, 11 cents lower than that, but right now we're right around that unchanged level. About 1.5 cents lower across the board, really, 1 to 2 cents lower. So that's an interesting board as we sit here below the level that we closed out on Friday. And remember, Friday wasn't a very good day. Let's take a look at soybeans. What has soybeans got in store for us? Well, they're a little bit better, kind of all over the place, really. All the gains are up front. July's up 20 3/4 cents to 15 1/4. And as you go out the deferreds, we lose ground, but we're still higher. Let's go all the way out to Nove. That's down 7 3/4 cents, or up 7 3/4 cents to 17 3/4. So as you go from the front up 21.5 cents to all the way out to the Jan, which is only up 6 cents, that'll give you an idea about what the prices do as you move out the deferreds. That's kind of what we call the curve, right? How about wheat in Chicago? Chicago wheat. Well, that's down across the board about a nickel. July's off 5 3/4 cents to 7.27.5. You go out to, say, Dees, that's down 3 3/4 cents to 7.58 even. And we lose a little bit of ground going out the deferreds, but May's only off 1.5 just to give you an idea about that curve, right? Let's talk about hard red in Kansas City. That one's basically steady, a little bit better. We've got July, the upfront month, up 2 1/4 cents to 8.61 1/4, but everything else is just slightly better. A 3/4 of a cent rally in SEP, that's 3 ticks. 8.62.5 is last. And the Dees is up 1 tick. That's 1/4 cent to 8.63 1/4. There you go. All right, how about the spring wheat? Well, let's see. That's going to be in Minneapolis. And that's just going to be on the other side of unchanged. It's just a little easier. July is down 1 1/4 cents to 8.63.5. And then SEP's down 1 3/4 cents as well to 8.72 even. So we're off between, say, 1/2 and 1 3/4 cents across the board when we talk about the spring wheat market. Then we move over to the cotton to see what's been happening there. What do we have happening? Well, we're off, that Dees market's off, 82 points to 77.85. There you go. That's going to be what we're looking at right now. That's where a lot of the volume is going to be at. 83 points lower to 77, now 84. All right. How about the other markets around the spectrum, right? Because we also want to see what's been happening in other things. Let's take a look at the equities. Just take a little quick peek at your 401k to see if it's okay. Not doing much today, just about a 26-point rally in the Dow futures. That's the front month SEP. Just below that 34,000 line. We're up about 22 points. Not a lot happening over there. We've got a big week of inflation indicators. We've got some GDP. That's what we make and sell. We've got the PCE, which is another inflation thing. So we got a lot going on, not just the big grain report at the end of the month. Let's move on and see, again, what is going on with the U.S. dollar. Well, we've had a lot of talk about higher interest rates, and that seems to have abated a little bit here. With this market really wanted to go higher the last few days because of what Powell said last week or the week before about higher interest rates. The market's digested that. We're at 102.38 in that dollar. That's down just a tad, about 162 points lower. We've been around that 102 to 103 level here for a while, so we're kind of still in the middle there. We did dip below that last week as we didn't have to worry about raising interest rates. But here, I think we've got our guest analyst, if he wants to come on for the last 30 or 45 seconds. I think we've got him. Let's bring in Todd Horowitz real quick. Todd, thanks for coming on. Just went through a lot of prices there. What are your thoughts real quick in the grains before we go to break?
I thought they were interesting. I was a little concerned by the way they failed after being up so high. And I think that I still think we have room to go higher. And I think there's just some trading action. And the markets are still extremely thin. So I think that that's part of the issue here. But I do think they look okay. And I do think that we're going to see higher prices. I think the lows are in.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty definitive saying. We're going to go away. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back and challenge you on that one and see what you got to say after that. But that's Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading, Las Vegas. We're going to go away. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about the livestock. Let's see what's going on over there. Obviously, we had a big report on Friday. Let's start with the live cattle and get that out from behind my fat head, my bald head. Geez, look at that. That's bad. August is up 1 tick, 2 cents to 170.80. October's down 25 cents to 174.25. So we got a mixed board that doesn't know where to go, so we're going to call that just hanging around that unchanged line. Not a lot happening in live cattle. You can take that from that board. Feeders, though, what do we have happening there? Well, feeder cattle are just up a little bit, about a dime, maybe a little bit more. August is up 20 cents to 234.15. Sep and Oct are up a dime each. Let's go to the Oct. That's up 10 cents to 240.25. And then a 15-cent rally in the Nove, 241.32. So that's quiet as well. So those two boards are quiet, both cattle boards. Let's see about the lean hog board. What's that got in store for us? And this one's tacking on some gains. This has got some real estate going to the upside. July is up to $2.50 to $9.93.77. Let's go out to say D. So that's up a buck. So 77.67 is last there. And we're up between, say, $1 and $1.25 when you take in everything except July. So not a bad board in lean hogs. Let's get back to our guest analyst, Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading in Chicago. All right, Todd, what are your thoughts when it comes to the meats?
Well, I think nothing's really changed. I mean, cattle had a bearish report, but yet it was maintaining, reasonably higher prices, and we're still near all-time highs. Hogs continue to push forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run at $1. I think we're seeing the shortage in cattle, which just leaves the prices where they're at without much movement. And of course, the demand for food and for protein in the hog market. So I think we look pretty good in hogs and cattle. I mean, if giving them my best advice, I'd make sure I was hedged, if not selling them here, because these prices are at all-time highs, and I don't know how much longer they can stay up here. But certainly, as long as demand stays and supply stays short, they could hold.
Yeah, I like your call on the grains, but you think it's higher from here. We're not going back down. I'm sure a lot of producers out there like to hear that too. But also, just I'm interested with the difference between beef and pork prices. Everybody's waiting for the beef prices to come down and kind of get more in line with pork. But it might happen, Todd, as nobody talks about it. But we might see pork rally up to where strengthen into the beef. What do you think? Real quick.
I would think so. Again, I think that beef is up for one reason. That's just a shortage, not because we're so wealthy and we're buying. I think there is more buying in hogs all of a sudden. I think that's what we expected. And again, only the shortage in beef is keeping that higher, I think. All right. Because there's enough demand for the shortage. But I think hogs will make a nice run and continue.
All right. Love your content. Thanks for coming on. Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading is coming to us from Chicago. We're not there. We're here in Nashville.